Alrighty. Wait for it to go through on YouTube side once again. There it is. Cool. Just let me get set up here, and then we'll start building. Put the... Alright. Oh, forehead. Come on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. Oh yeah, let's get some background music going. We're gonna do Lethal League Blaze. I like the Lethal League Blaze soundtrack. Alrighty. It's a little bit loud. Turn down just a bit. There we go. That's better. Cool. Cool. Building the Project Hail Mary kit today. I actually haven't been able to watch the movie or read the book yet. I've been trying to read the book, but it's just hard to find time to do it. To just sit down and read. Ah, come on. Oh, God. God damn. They got some strong fucking glue. Bag 2, bag 4. Where the hell is bag 1? There's bag 1. Bag 1. But yeah, I've been trying to read the book. I've gotten through one chapter. Oh, that's so fucking cool looking. All right. Move the mouse out of the way a little bit. Yeah, alright. I realized yesterday. It's an extra bit smaller. It's an extra bit bag. I realized yesterday that the staging on my sources wasn't right. So the camera was in front of the chat box, so you couldn't really see anybody chatting. But it's fixed, should be fixed now. What the hell is this piece? Making a dude. Starting off making a dude. I need to watch the movie. I wanna read the book first before I watch the movie. So I'm trying to get through that. But again, like I said, I used to be able to read while I was at work. Whoop! But they've started throwing a bunch of extra shit on me, and I just can't anymore. Which sucks. God, I can fucking hear the music coming out of my headphones. Holy shit. Turn it down. Should turn it down here too. There we go, that should be better. So it's been hard to find time to read stuff. I got so many books I want to read. I got a pile of books up on top of one of my display cases in this room, and it's just a fucking focus. It's just a fucking tape measure. In order to do a tape measure, they just fucking printed a tape measure onto a 1x1 clear flat piece. That's fucking funny. I tell you what, that's fucking funny. What am I building here? This. But from what I've read of just the first chapter of the book, it's pretty good so far. So I'm excited to get to read more of it at some point eventually. I'm just gonna hang out over here. But I'm building this now. I am going to this next Friday watch the Backrooms movie with my friends. So that's gonna be interesting. I'm pretty that's made by King Pixels, right? I'm pretty sure it's made by King Pixels, so it has a good chance of actually being good. Because it's made by the guy. So that'll definitely be an interesting watch at the very least. And just it's funny because like it was definitely in the works before Markiplier's Iron Lung happened, because like it takes a long time to make movies. Like the Backrooms movie, wasn't it announced before Iron Lung came out? I think that was a thing that I remember. But it's definitely a case of these two movies, Iron Lung and Backrooms, are opening the door for so many more indie film projects, which is really fucking cool. So you know, it'll be cool to see what comes. What comes next? Like what projects people will work on as like their what the fuck? As like independent passion projects because they can now. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Whoop. Where is it's number 10. It's the most well-known song from this soundtrack. Oh yeah, that is right. I thought that wasn't right for a second. But no, it is right. Ah, there. You know, maybe I should read books on stream. Nah, that probably wouldn't be fun. Also, it'd destroy my fucking throat. Oh. Got a little bit of a molding mistake on that piece. Oh, on all of them. What the hell? That's interesting. There's a little bit of a molding error on these pieces. All of them have it. It's really interesting. Wait, where? Where? Here? Here. Yeah, I think that's right. on it. He just hangs out. Alright. I need these. Oop, don't you go running away on me. No, it's really... I really want to watch the movie. I really want to watch the movie, but I want to finish the fucking book first. The books does a really good job at setting up a mystery. And I'm just reading the book, and it's just like I'm so curious how they do certain things in the movie, especially considering that, you know, most of the start of the book is like internal monologue. Your chunk. And then it goes in here. Okay. Is that supposed to be? What is it supposed to be? Rocky. This piece? Yeah, this piece. This weird gem-looking piece. You know what? This piece right here, it reminds me of the puzzle crystals that you use in the Ocean Temple in Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. I know that is on the controversial side of Zelda games, but it has a special place in my heart as being my first ever Legend of Zelda game. I got that one. I really like Phantom Hourglass. What? I did. Come on. And then one goes up and one goes down. Holds on to this. This thing just goes into this leg? Like that? Sure. Little buddy. Little buddy. Oh, he's a little squat. There we go, that's better. I think. Okay, come on. Work with me here. I like that. There we go. That's better. Another one of these things. What the hell? You know, I don't really have much to talk about here. I kind of just threw the camera on, started building. I have been, so I work out. I try to work out consistently, at least, 6 times a week. It's kind of hard to work out on days that I'm working because I work 11-hour shifts. It's hard to find the time and the energy, especially with a very active dog. Like I have, you've seen my dog. I got a border collie. Her name's Piper. Extremely active dog, so she has to get exercise every single day. That means minimum hour and a half walk or like minimum 45-minute hike every single day. And so it can be hard to find time to work out. I recently bought I got a skip rope. I've started getting back into skipping. And it's like on the days when I'm working, it's like I might not have time to do a full workout. I don't. Especially if I'm also trying to stream, like today, before I go to work. Or, after I come home from work on days when I work the morning shift. It can be hard to find time to work out. So this can be, not this. I've gotten back into skipping, well, and I've also gotten a rowing machine. It's like, even if I can't find, the time I don't have the time for a workout, I have, 5, 10, 15 minutes to jump rope or to row on the rowing machine. And it's certainly working on getting my endurance up. But I'm just absolutely fucking annihilating my toes right now. Because like I'm doing a skipping routine called pyramid skip, where you pyramid skip, where you set a timer, that's right, for 1 minute. Set a timer for 1 minute, do 50 skips, and then your rest. So like you go from, you start at 50, and then you start at 50 skips, and then you do 60, and then you do 70, and then you do 80, and then 90, and then 100, and then you go back down by tens, 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50. And that's why it's called pyramid, because you go up, and then you go up, and then you go down. And you time it so that you go for a minute. You start skipping when the timer starts, and then you set the timer for a minute, and your rest time in between the sets, I guess, is how much time you have left on the 1 minute timer. So you have 1 minute to do 50 skips, rest time for the rest, and then 1 minute to do 60, rest time for the rest, yada yada yada, and all the way up to 100, and then back down to 50. What is this? What is this? Tag 2, I don't have my container for smalls. My little container for spare small pieces. I'll toss his air in here. Leave the helmet on. Need another one soon. It's filling up. Alright, bag 2. Where the hell is bag 2? Oh, 2 small bags in here. Shit. You know, with all these Legos that I have, it's going to be a real pain in the ass when I end up moving. Because I currently live with my mom. I do pay rent. I'm not living rent-free. But I do live with my mom. And eventually I would like to get my own place. Eventually. Maybe. Yeah, you know, who knows if that'll actually be feasible with the fucking current housing market. But if that does happen, there we go. I don't know how I'm going to move all of my fucking Lego sets. You know, maybe I'll just have to do the best I can. Like, that's why I keep all the books, the instruction manuals, you know, in case they break, so I can put them back together. There you are. Okay, so I don't have a water here. I forgot to grab a water again. I was gonna start ranting about Hollow Knight Silk Song, because, you know, yesterday with the other Lego building stream, I ranted about Expedition 33. Now I could rant about Hollow Knight Silk Song, but I'm not so sure if I want to if I don't have any water on me. I started kind of late today, so I don't know if I have time to go grab water. It's a conundrum. It's a conundrum. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get water. I'm gonna go get some water. Whoop. Water has been acquired. Alright. Yeah. Alright. I can fucking rant about Silk Song. I fucking love Silk Song, man. It's such a fun game. But the Act 1 of Silk Song is so ludicrously difficult. It's a bad kind of difficulty too, because talking about the difficulty with something like Silk Song is hard, because it's one of those games where anytime a discussion of difficulty happens, you'll get people that just say get good, which is, you know, juvenile, unhelpful, immature, and misses the fucking point. Because, like, I did get good, you know, I beat fucking Lost Lace. I won 100% of the game. I beat the game in under 5 hours. I got that achievement. And I did it without doing any speedrunning skips. And I'm currently working on, beating Steel Soul. So yeah, I did get good. But it's the issue of it's the issue of Silksong started as DLC for Hollow Knight. And as with most DLCs in that kind of difficulty is the point game, like Hollow Knight, like Souls likes. The DLC probably would have came in online late to end game, somewhere later on in the game, the DLC would have started. That's when the DLC would have likely started. And so, with that, it's reasonable, expected that the difficulty of the DLC is going to be, around the same level as late to end game, maybe likely a bit harder. But it feels like when Team Cherry moved Silksong from being DLC to its own standalone game, they toned down the difficulty a little bit, but not enough. And it really shows in Act 1. Because, I full on believe Act 1 of Silksong is just too damn hard. And it's not a fun kind of hard, I would have been fine with Silksong being harder, Silksong being harder than Hollow Knight. I'd be fine with that, There is a thing to it where people say it should be harder because it's a sequel to Hollow Knight, which is bullshit, and I do not agree with, because it is its own standalone game, and people can play it without ever touching Hollow Knight. So it should stand on its own. It shouldn't be expected to be harder because it's a sequel to a difficult game. It should be, especially the start of the game. The start of the game, it's fine if Act 2 and Act 3 of Silksong are harder than the end game of Hollow Knight. That's fine. That is 100% fine. But the start of the game, Act 1, should be, difficulty-wise on par with Hollow Knight, with the early game Hollow Knight, because it is the start of a completely different game. You gotta, even difficult games gotta ease the player into it at least a little bit, and it's the thing of, if it was mechanically more challenging, enemies are mechanically more engaging and they're harder to deal with in the early game than the early game of Hollow Knight. Flip that over? Okay. Then that would be one thing. Flip this guy over. But they're really not, save for the Scar. So, Hunter's March, the Scar in Hunter's March and Farfield, and then Greymoor, the enemies are mechanically more challenging than their counterparts in Hollow Knight. And that is a good thing, I am fine with the sequel being harder in that enemies are mechanically more challenging. They challenge the player's skill more earlier than in the previous game. That's fine. My issue with Silksong's difficulty, especially in Act 1, is enemies are mathematically more challenging. There's more enemies that do 2 masks of damage than there were in Hollow Knight. Enemies have more health than they had in Hollow Knight. And it just leads to frustration because things feel a bit more tedious in Silksong than they did in Hollow Knight, because enemies do more damage and bosses, and because enemies and bosses have more health. You know, you look at equivalent enemies in Silksong and Hollow Knight, it takes so many more hits to take down an enemy in Silksong than it would have a similar enemy in Hollow Knight. You know, like comparing the Mantis. I think a good comparison is the Mantis tribe to the Scar, because they are very similar. You know, you meet them very early on, typically in the third area you're properly exploring, and they are a warrior tribe who are likely to be the player's first mechanical challenge that's not a boss fight. You know? Because, like, in both games, the enemies in the regular enemies in Forgotten Crossroads and Green Path and the Marrow and Deep Docks are not mechanically challenging. Not really mechanically challenging at all. Basic attacks, basic patterns, fairly easy to deal with. It's the Mantis tribes and Mantis tribe and the Mantis warriors. Mantis tribe, the Mantis. It's the Mantis and the Scar where enemies start becoming mechanically challenging. You know, they do more than one attack. They react to what the player does. They have certain moves when the player does certain things, you know. And like, at least with the Scar, they have several different moves that they can pull from to like keep the player on their toes. That is good. What's not good is the fact that it takes so much more damage to put down a Scar than it does a Mantis warrior. You know, like, you go into, you know, Hollow Knight, you fight a Mantis warrior with no nail upgrades. I think it takes like 3 or 4 hits to take them out. You go against or alternatively, 1 spell and 1 nail hit. You go against fucking Scar in Silksong with no nail upgrades. It takes like upwards of 7 hits to put 1 Scar down. It's crazy how they just juiced the health of all the fucking enemies. Like, that's not a good way to increase difficulty. I think that, oh god damn it. Oh my god. What the fuck? There we go. Jesus Christ. I think the Scar could have been so much more fun if they were just mechanically harder, like they are, without the numerical increase. Oh, it is only 1. Whoops. Flip and turn. Without the numerical increase they got, you know? And the place that this feels the worst in is boss fights. Because a lot of bosses also have way more fucking health than equivalent boss fights in Hollow Knight. And the majority of them do 2 masks of damage. It's like, you look at Hollow Knight, 2 masks of damage was reserved for really big, really, and I mean like, I don't mean like actually physically big, I mean like presence big, I guess, is the easiest way to put it. Really, you know, important boss fights, you know. The bosses in fucking Hollow Knight that did 2 masks of damage, oh, you know, Absolute Radiance, Nightmare King Grim, the Pure Vessel. Bosses that do 2 massive damage in Silksong, a really angry bug. The fucking stick woman. It's overused, especially in Act 1, when you can only really get enough mask shards for a single mask upgrade, taking you from 5 masks to 6, which is a grand total of no additional hits against bosses that do 2 massive damage, which might as well be all of them. You know, I think it wouldn't be so bad. Like, you can have every boss do 2 massive damage if it's only certain attacks. You know, like, Deep Dock's Lace is a fantastic fight, and is a fantastic fight for this reason, because the boss is mechanically challenging. It has a lot of moves it can whip out, and you gotta be able to see and know which tells are correlate to which moves. And she has some attacks that do 1 mask of damage, some attacks that do 2 masks of damage, and importantly, she only does 1 mask of contact damage. The most ridiculous fucking thing is bosses doing 2 fucking masks of contact damage. That is absolutely bullshit. Especially because, as I said before, you can't get a substantial health upgrade within Act 1 to mitigate the bosses that do 2 massive damage. You know, in Hollow Knight, you get your first mask upgrade. You collect 4 mask shards, you get your first mask upgrade. That is a substantial increase. That is a substantial buff to your health. That is a 20% increase to your health. 1 additional mistake you can make in a boss fight or a gauntlet or a platforming section. In Silksong, against, you know, some gauntlets, because a lot of gauntlets have enemies that do 2 massive damage. In some gauntlets, and almost no boss fights, your first mask upgrade offers very little benefit, because you can't take any you don't gain any additional buffers to making mistakes and taking damage, because, you know, 5 and 6 both still take 3 hits from 2 massive damage to go down. We go this way first. All right. Spin, spin, spin. And it's like, I feel like the problem could be solved, and they did kind of solve that problem, you know, with Morwing and with Sister Splinter, because like they made it so Morwing not all of Morwing's attacks did 2 massive damage, and then they made it so the ads that Sister Splinter spawns don't do 2 massive damage. And, you know, it made those fights, sure, less difficult, but it also made those fights a lot less frustrating. Like, those 2 fights in the early game absolutely fucking sucked. I did those boss fights before they got nerfed. Those were not fun boss fights. Oh. Why? Those were not fun boss fights pre-nerf. Like, I'm gonna be real. Those fights fucking sucked. They were rough, man. It does say 4. Alright. And then like this. Yeah, like that. So it's good, but like more bosses, especially in Act 1, kind of need that fix where some of their attacks, you know, they can still have the 2 mask damage attacks, but some of their attacks should do 1 mask of damage. And, you know, I'm personally feel like every boss in the game, with a handful of exceptions, should only do 1 Mask of Contact damage. But you know, they want Savage Beastfly to be as fucking painful as possible for the reward of the worst crest in the fucking game. And like, I know there are Beast Crest defenders. There's people that like the Beast Crest because if you get good with the Beast Crest, you can do nutty damage in boss fights and in gauntlets. But at the same time, it's still the worst fucking crest, because boss fights and gauntlets are 1/2 of Silksong, the other half being exploration, which the Beast Crest absolutely sucks for because of its abysmal down pogo and its ability to only heal off of enemies. You can't just, heal. You need enemies to be able to heal. I don't care what anybody says. The Beast Crest is the worst crest in the fucking game. Like the Witch Crest has a similar issue where you need enemies to be able to heal off of, but at least its pogo is straight down instead of a weird arc. And so it can be it's easier to do platforming with the Witch Crest. Okay, we're gonna set you to the side as well. But I digress. Ooh, gears. I like how that sounds. I don't know if it's coming through good on the mic though. It might not be. It might. I don't know. Alright, ready. Come. Okay, come. There. You. Yeah, it's a shame. I can't wait for. I'm excited for when they add their boss rematch and boss rush mode akin to God Home in the original Hollow Knight, because there's the late game crests like Architect in Act 2 and Shaman crest in Act. A Shaman Crest in Act 3, and Witch Crest also in Act 2. It'd be nice to be able to, do every boss fight with those crests. It's also why I kind of wish they had a new game plus mode for Silksong, so that you can, do boss fights and gauntlets throughout the entire game with these really cool and interesting crests. Ooh. That's a good sound. You can do all of the boss fights and gauntlets throughout the game with these fun and interesting crests. Oh, wait, no. Oh, not all the way. Fuck. spinny. That would be nice. Because like not Witch Crest, Shaman Crest is like one of the coolest crests in the game. Like its entire focus is around spells. And so it'd be cool to be able to, you know, do a new game plus, bring Shaman Crest into the early game, and just, you know, have fun with all of these spells, slinging all these fucking spells throughout the entirety of the game, not just Act 3. You know, that'd be cool. That'd be nice to do. That'd be neat. In you go. Get in there. There we go. The same thing with some of the tools. Like, I get the tools aren't as much in that. Then extra bag. It would be cool if you could bring your fun toys back into the early game and just, you know, see how fun they are to do with not extra bag again. You know, old boss fights and old gauntlets and stuff with your fun tools. Basically, what I'm rambling about is I want a new game plus mode for Silksong. You know, it'd be cool if it like resets. You could do it by resetting all of the numerical increases. So like you reset mask shards, you reset spool fragments, reset tool pouches, and tool kits, I think it is. All that stuff gets reset. The only thing you keep is your crests, your silk skills. Oh yeah, it resets your movement abilities as well. So the only thing you keep is your crests, your silk skills, and your tools. And then you just play through the game with all of your, again, but with this time with all of your fun toys. I think that'd be kind of cool. You know, like that's one thing that, like, tangent, completely separate fucking tangent. That's one thing I really liked about Lies of P. Lies of P, it's kind of hard to do an elemental build on your first playthrough of the game, because you don't really have access to the stuff that would work well when you want it, I guess is the best way to put it. Although you kind of do. Because, like, you know, electricity works good against puppets, fire works good against... Is there supposed to be a thing? No? Ah, I see. You know, electricity works good against puppets, fire works good against carcasses, and acid is good against humans. And it's like, generally you do get the corresponding element before-ish you would need it. You know, you get the fuck, what is it called? The electric coil pretty early on in the first area or second area, I guess technically. You do get the salamander fire dagger in the Vanini works before you meet your first carcass enemy. You do get the acid spear before you fight your first human enemy. Well, not really. You do fight a bunch of stalkers before you can get acid weapons. But you do get your first acid weapon before you fight your first alchemist enemies in it anyway. But it's just nice. It's just a lot more fun to do like a motivity or a technique build for your first playthrough, and then go into New Game Plus, with already having all of your advanced weapons, so just having the right tool for the job at any moment and doing an advanced build. Then, so it's like it makes advanced builds more fun that way because you already have all the advanced weapons. You don't need to, and like whenever you encounter an enemy, you can just swap to the correct weapon for the highest elemental damage output. And it's like my point is it would be fun to be able to do that with Silksong because you get so many cool little fun toys, but you can't really use them for very much. You can't really use some of them very much because of how late in the game you get them. So it'd be... I just heard a sound in my house. I think it was just the house settling, but that was weird. It would be cool if they added a New Game Plus so you could bring your cool toys through the rest of the game that you couldn't experience with them because you got them so late. That is my... If I had one wish for Team Cherry, it would be to tone down the fucking early game bosses. If I had a second wish for Team Cherry, it would be to add a New Game Plus feature. But nobody fucking listens to me. I'm just some chucklefuck on the internet who presses live and doesn't really try to grow an audience. I get viewers in the single digits. So who the fuck would ever... Oh god, why? 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 Come on. And there we go. Who the fuck would ever listen to me? Why would anybody listen to me? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. This way. Like that? Yeah, okay. Let's come together. Okay, ducky doy. Okay. Get in there. Yeah. Spin! Spinny! Spin to win! Spin the wheel! Okay, just go in. Go fucking. Okay, I gotta pull the camera up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that might be too much. There we go. A little bit of that. Get in. In. Go in. Jesus Christ. Go fucking in. Fucking. There we go. Why are these guys so... Why was that one so much fucking easier? Oh my god. Is it? Yeah, it is. Alright. Yes, the whole New Game Plus thing with Silksong that I was getting at, it's interesting because I don't feel the same way about Hollow Knight. Probably because, you know, most of the charms, you can really only, you can get them at any time you want. You know, it's like, and it's like Hollow Knight doesn't have nearly as many, or the magnitude, or to the nearly as many gauntlets as Silksong does, and it doesn't have them to the magnitude that Silksong does, and you know, and of course it already has the boss rush mode, so you can try out whatever charm build you want on any boss as soon as you unlock that mode. Come on, get in there. Right here. So it doesn't really have the same feel of wanting to go back to the early game with these fun toys as Silksong has. Interesting. But again, like Silksong, you know, with the crests and the blue tools and red tools, it makes it more like, man, I wish I could go back to the early game to, you know, mess around with these cool tools against the earlier enemies. Come on, get in. Oh, I need a second one. What the hell? Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, what the fuck? Get in. In, you bastard. What the fuck is happening? Why won't you go in? There we go. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. I don't think I'm going to finish this kit on time because it's already almost noon, and once again I have to go make lunch and get ready for work. I might be able to get through this bag and finish off this stuff, and then start the next bag. How in just rest it? I think it just wants me to rest it for now. That's fun. Okay, okay, there's a lot of pigs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. You go here. Get in there, you naughty plug. There we go. Now this guy can't get out. There we go. Alright. I gotta go get ready for work. I don't know if I have time to do this. Shit. I don't think I have time. You know, I'll start bag 4. I don't believe I'll be able to finish bag 4 though. I doubt it. Oh, look at all these small parts. There's no fucking way. Damn it. Yeah, that would be. I've never seen that part before. Look at that. Funky. Four. Alright. Down into the tail or whatever the hell this thing is. Stay up there. Wheel. Wheel. I've got a wheel. This side in here. Oh god, okay. Does it fucking matter where it goes? Probably, maybe. I don't know. I'm just gonna stick it in there and hope for the best. Yeah, as far as it can go. Is that supposed to be as far as it can go? No, it's supposed to go all the way down. But it doesn't want to? Oh. That doesn't feel right. Oh! Oh, I grabbed it. There's a small brown piece. I grabbed. There you are. There we go. That's better. All right. I'm gonna unfortunately have to leave it there because I do need to go get ready for work. I gotta go to work. But I did enjoy doing that with you today. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.